Hello, gentle people. Let me know that you can hear my voice, and let's get this ready to start very soon. This is going to be interesting. We are today playing a game of Azure Dreams, the passionate Roche format, and it's going to be fun. What if we can't hear you? Well, if you answer, that kind of means you probably hear me. And if you don't, then I'll just scream so loud that it'll reach your ears wherever you are on the planet, right? This is going to be a fun match. This part of day, wherever you are in the world, we're going to have Alymra face off against Wugga in our finals for the tournament. It's going to be great. If you don't know really exactly how this is going, I'm going to do a quick rundown of how it works. This is Azure Dreams. This is a game where you have to deal with 40 floors of a very rough tower. It's going to be one chance to go as high as you can go in the tower. This is randomly generated content, and also we've added some randomization only on the first 5 starting items. Gonna get replaced by similar items, but not the same. Can you hear shout that loud? I know. It might not even be the mic. Like I said, maybe I'm just screaming that loud. But yeah, it's gonna be very fun today. Let me count down both the runners, and then we'll be off. That shouldn't take very long. All right. Let me know, guys, in chat what kind of monster you would like to see. Replacing CUNY, like I said, there's going to be some randomization. That monster will have a random element as well, so you might find a troll, but it might be a water troll. And it's important to note that the first monster, just the one on the bridge that replaces CUNY, how it is randomized will affect the tower's gameplay. So if you have a water troll, like in my earlier example, then every troll in the tower is going to be water. And whatever monster they get, if they don't already have a spell, well, as a replacement for CUNY, they will have their spell Awaken, that we called it. So every monster has a sleeping spell. And that's going to be a thing. I didn't actually change it so you guys can see the beautiful, there we go, layout. Marvelous. And we have a kid! Okay, that's crazy. We don't know the element yet. Kid is a baby dragon. We already had a dragon run earlier last week, but this time we start with a kid version, so it's gonna have a little bit weaker stats, although it's still gonna be great, don't get me wrong, but it will have increased max MP, one of the rare features monsters can get from time to time, and that's gonna be very interesting. So yeah, already a very crazy start. Alymra gets first. Obviously, it's just a little bit of a delay between both of them, and that's a water kid. Very good monster, probably the strongest monster and strongest elements. Obviously, elements is a fluctuating thing. Sometimes it's not going to be the best elements on the wind's floor, for example. But all in all, we love our water monster. Oh yeah, gonna sink. That's probably going to take a few seconds. That's not even a problem. If one of the 2 screen freezes, that's probably going to be why. They got a kid, I guess I will see at the top. We'll see them at the top. Basically, a dragon you can lift. Yes, Cafe adds very important. And we have the Picket. Interesting. Pickets is very good, to be honest. If you fuse it or have its spells unlocked, or any spell whatsoever, they're going to be the greatest mage in the game because it can eat literally anything to recover MP. But the dragon is like better because it cannot eat anything, but it can eat coins on the ground, which are everywhere, and that'll recover their MP as well. So it's probably like the only rare situations where you're not going to be excited to see a Picket. Pickets also get people excited because of the double attack feature, like they act twice. It's not just attacks, it's double everything, right? I'm not a big fan of it, and I know people are gonna scream at me. In combat, obviously that's really good, hitting twice per round is very strong. But it also means that from time to time, you can give orders to your monster, which I do all the time, and your monster is actually gonna do what you asked it to do, and then move on its own, which sometimes puts it in harm's way. Which is not my, I don't like when monsters just do whatever they want, like Nuyel healing you when I didn't ask it to, and then dying because of it. But that's going to be a, oh, we have a Malicious Bell! Wugga using one of my favorite early game strats. Malicious Bell is going to increase the level of every enemy in the floor. Generally, that's an item you don't want to use. But here, it means, yeah, the enemies are going to be stronger, but they're going to give roughly double experience points. Which makes it rough, don't get me wrong. But if they find a troll, the experience on that thing is going to be huge. Although that only lasts for the first floor. This tournament has shown some very interesting strats, and I'm probably one of the rare ones I've remembered using Malicious Bell strats. But this is crazy to see that in a tournament format. I always adore that. Next thing is what? Are we gonna find a flat scroll? That would be probably my other greatest things that I want to see. But they are Byron only probably, or if not, very, very rare. So it doesn't really, it's not really probable. Let's just say that. We have on the Alymra side already on floor 4 zoom in to make sure that they can be on top of their game. Wugga taking a little bit more of their time being on floor 2, exploring and trying to find some items. This is to find strategies, don't get me wrong, but I'm a big fan of exploring 1 to 5, but at the same time, I'm not the fastest, so I guess that makes some kind of sense. I like getting a little bit of experience, not too much, probably level 4 roundabout. And most importantly, getting some good, as many good items as I can find. We already have a binding ball on Wugga's side that Alymra hasn't find, so that's kind of really good. But other than that, I would say the Ice Rock 5 charges. Ice Rock is good, and it is very, very, very slow. Although we have seen Alymra use that extremely successfully in one of their run last weekend, so maybe that's a good thing. Earth Shield, I mean, they haven't even equipped it, and I feel like it's the right play. Obviously, against trolls and flames, that could be very scary early on. Yeah, absolutely. Using the malicious spell is just something most people wouldn't do, either for speed or for just making more dangerous. It's already a rough game, but early on, that's probably a very good idea to do. What platform was this originally on? It is a PS1 game. It is a PS1 game that released in 1998 in Japan, 1999 in the West, if I remember correctly. And yeah, it was some kind of a mixture of like, I don't think today's standards would describe it well. When I was a kid, I would say that it was pretty much like a Diablo-like game with Pokemon capturing of monsters, and there's also light town building and how would you say that? Not visual novel, but dating sim. Sorry, very light elements of dating sim when you go back to town trying to pass good time with the girls of the village. It is a very fun game, but we are going to be confined in this specific format into the tower. We have an hour to reach as high as we can in the tower. It's a 40-floor tower, and nothing prevents you from doing that in one climb, like never going back to town, which is what we're going to do today, if possible. But in a casual playthrough, the first time you play this game, if you get past floor 6, you have my respect. I'm very serious. If anyone plays this game for the first time and get past floor 6 on their very first climb, you have all my respect. This is a very rough game, very daunting, even for speedrunners that have played this game a million times. Nothing prevents you from dying very early. We had that happen in the tournament. One of our very best player died on floor 4, of all places. Obviously, got a very bad situation, got critted, which was not expected, obviously, and ended up costing him the match. But we're not here to talk about what's happened before. We are here to talk what's happening right now. Our runners, oh, we have a blinder trap on the Alymra side. Nothing bad happens. We're happy for that. Wugga's fighting some flames, trying to climb. The early game is not really super scary when you know what you're doing. For 1 to 5 is going to be where they want to build an inventory. But yeah, as soon as they're going to get to floor 6, 6 might not be the scariest, but it's definitely where things ramps up. And then 7, 8, and 9 are scary as all hell. If I died to a U-boat, this will give me the EBGBs about to see them now. Yeah, absolutely. The U-boats are one of the worst monsters. The fact that they go underground makes them that in every normal fight, they are going to have first strike on you. And they hit pretty hard. Now, they're pretty squishy, to be serious. They're not that strong. But you're still going to have to take 2 hits, maybe 3. Just because of the reason that they get their first strike on you. Where in a normal fight, they would probably only need to get hit once or twice. So the extra hit definitely adds up for sure. Are we going to see Warp Strat? Yep, definitely. Wugga pick up his own monsters and use the Warp Trap to get out of the situation. Let's call it Garudalite. It's very nice to use. So now they are out of that situation. And they can leave floor 4 to floor 5. Although they want to get some feed into their dragon. Makes a lot of sense to me. Gets a little bit of time to regenerate some health as well. And they are going to be off. But Alymra's already 2 floors ahead. About to be 3. Well, again, 2. And we're going to get to see that coming. That's going to be very interesting. They wanted to just look at the weapon, but now they are out anyway. Manivas on Wugga's side, the yellow puddle thing. Oh, that's a bad room for Alymra. Okay, the elevator's in the room, so it's less bad. But the blue thing with the maw is a U-boat. It's sleeping right now. The green thing is a bloom. Very scary as well. They might brainwash your own pet to make them go against you. And we have a lucky go-up trap. Alymra is out of here without even taking a hit. Although they did intend to take a few hits, but yeah. It's a dating, sim, tower climbing, monster collecting, town building. Yeah, that's pretty much a good description of the game. Yes, it's a roguelike game, and I mean it literally like rogue. So it's not permadeath. If you die, you actually go back to level 1 and lose all your gear, but you will keep progress on the level of your pets, which at some point you should be able to clear the game. But in a normal playthrough, I would expect someone to clear the tower the first time around about 25 entries roughly total. That's, I guess, a good average to expect from a casual player. But they are going to try to do it in one. Just enter the game from zero, from nothing, didn't build anything, and reach the end of the tower. Sounds wild. It is very wild. Septiki's buying trip as a strat war. Explain the feeding of coin. Never had a kid. So, okay, yeah. So 3 of the monsters in the tower as what we call special diets, and this is not a trait that can be passed via fusion. So it needs to be those 3 monsters. So Nuyel is the first one. They actually do not eat. They are vegetarian. They don't eat eggs. So if you feed them eggs, it won't work. They gain MP from pitas as normal, but they also gain 50 MP when you feed them an herb, a seed, or herb, seeds, or fruit. Sorry. So instead of gaining the normal 3, you're gonna win 50 MP back. So that's pretty good. Pickets also has a special diet. It'll gain 50 MP from eating absolutely anything, which is crazy. But they are weaker than kids. Kids will regain 50 MP from eating anything that is metal. So any metal weapon, metal shield, but coins on the ground sound. Oh, and we have a 1-room floor on our left side. That is a scary process. He's using the mini map, to actually move around. He's the yellow dot. He's reaching for the green dot. Nothing bad's happened. No spells is being cast from afar. Very well played on Alymra's side. Can't wait to see what's gonna happen on Wugga's side, but that went super well on Alymra's side. So very well played. Didn't took him a lot of time. Very well. Did you get 100 MP from metal? Sorry. Yeah, but that's just, so much. It doesn't really matter at that point. But to be exact, Skeef is right. It's 100. Respect, yeah, absolutely. The minimap strats works really well, it seems. It runs super fast, and you can keep an eye on all of those pesky enemy. But yeah, reaching already floor 10. Now, floor 10 is a special floor for me. Anyway, this is a floor where suddenly it's not that hard, especially with a water monster. And as I say that, they get attacked very hard by a bow troll, but it's because they are very low level. To me, that's the place where I would think about catching up in terms of experience. See, 62 XP, the monsters on the floor below gave much less, probably half less. Although that clown is a little bit of a scary position right now. But the monster here shouldn't be too hard. They should be giving a lot of experience. But obviously that miss is not going to be very, very nice. We see Wugga using Nia Breath, which is directly magic, which you never see being cast in an Azure Dream game unless you have one of those 3 monsters that have a special diet. Because spells in this game are absolutely expensive in terms of MP, and this is not your classic JRPG where if you don't have any more MP, well, you can't cast spells. No, in this game, you spend MP to walk around, you spend MP to cast spells, you spend MP to even attack, like physically attack, I mean. And when your monster has 0 MP, they fall in a coma state, and they cannot do anything until they are fed something that makes them being able to come back to life if you want, and being able to fight again. And most of the item in the tower will not do very much. You give them an herb, they're going to gain 3 MP back, while attacking is costing you 1 MP. That herb is not going to be very good for a long stretch of time. There's a special item called a Pita Fruit that's going to be like the generic uses to give MP back to your pet. And they are not stupid rare, but you know what I mean. This is the exception. The kids here is not going to need that. And we have our one-room floor on Wugga's side, juggling it very well as well so far, trying to maneuver around the enemies, probably take a hit, not even one. Are we going to see both of them not even get hit on a one-room floor? Tuna fruit, very good find, very good find. Alright, using the map strat as well by the end, and we see them get out. This is crazy, and we have a binding ball on Alymra's side. Now, obviously, that's a binding ball, sorry, on Alymra's side, and that's going to be great because Wugga already has one. If he finds that one too, that would make it two. And binding is not the greatest ball, but it is very good. If a monster can be picked up, that's absolutely very strong. So, very interesting finds we have all around so far. Yeah, very, very great run going on about right now. Obviously, if you have a kid, you probably feel confident. And I guess what they might want to find at some point would be, I was going to say a shield. Like, obviously not a defensive shield, because defense in this game is terrible. Did we find another binding? Oh, yeah. Oh, no, it's the same one. Okay, okay. But yeah, Wugga almost catching up. Floor 10 was very long and rough on the Alymra's side. Wugga probably just took another direction and went straight to the elevator, which is very good. Griffins are scary, absolutely. So the special diet, why Hall, we're so excited to see a kid. Yes, yes, absolutely. Also, they have great stats. Of all the 3 monsters that have a special diet, 2 of them are actually extremely weak. Nuyel's stats growth is terrible, and Pickett's are worse. Actually, you might not even know that. When you get on floor 2 on subsequent entries into the tower, you might find you will probably find your rival Roche, and you may duel him. And at the end, he will tell you how many wins/loses he's got to you. If you didn't know, every time you win against Roche, he actually levels up, and he becomes stronger. So, the thing that might not let you know that is his stat growth is terrible. Roche's stat growth is like 0.1 strength per level, so you need to beat him like 10 times so he gains 1 attack power or something like that. Well, Pickett's attack stat is like kind of close to that. It's really, really bad. It's probably a bit better, I mean, but it's just really bad. So 2 of the special diet monsters stats are so bad that their diet is like a cool skill in exchange for poor stats. And Nuyel actually evolves into Backnails, and Backnails have great stat growth. So once you start getting those stats points there, but it's kind of late, obviously, because we evolved at level 20, right? Hidden Dragon doesn't have that problem. They have the special diet and the stats to go with it. So that's definitely why Dragons is probably the best monster in the game. I mean, it could be argued that others are extremely potent, but in my mind, I think that the question should be, what is the second best monster? 0.36. Yeah, exactly. That's really, really bad. Dreamin'. Oh, I never knew that. Poison indicator. Real slow trap. Yeah, there we go. I never knew Nuyel's evolved. Yeah, a few monsters, like actually 2 per elements, I think, evolves at level 20. And yeah, you obviously need to find them and then train them to actually see that. It can sometimes even happen in the tower by itself. Like, I think it's Arachne that are very close to level 20, and if you use like a Malicious Bell or Holy Scroll and it kills something and gain experience. Are we actually okay? We see... Okay. Scouting for traps, maybe? I'm a little bit confused on what's going on. Oh, no, it is... Oh, sorry, Wow, yeah, it is Kraken. Okay, I missed the part where he threw the Holy Scrolls. It's like, why is he waiting for the Kraken to be done? Starting to see Krakens, time for a few floors of brown pants. Yeah, Krakens are extremely strong for some reason. They are, obviously they have the elemental advantage, but the joke we make all the time is that a Kraken on this floor, on floor 12, would actually beat a dragon on floor 39 if they duel. With the level difference, mind you. Obviously they get water elemental advantage against the dragon, and when the dragon punches it, it takes damage as well because of the reflect. But that's just how scary these monsters are. I don't know who made the balance in this game, but they should either be fired or given a medal. I don't know which one it is, but this game is so unbalanced that it makes the whole experience very, very fun. It'll feel unfair when you play casually all the time. You'll meet a new monster like, okay, let's see what they can do, and you'll be like, what? Seriously? Are you sure that's what you meant? But yeah, absolutely love this game. This game was ahead of its time. Sure, but it's heavily inspired from Shiren, the Wanderer. And by heavily inspired, I mean it's literally like almost a follow-up. People making Azure Dreams said that they had to play Shiren during development time. And Shiren is also a very rough game. We have a paralysis trap on Wugga's side, but luckily nothing bad happens. Okay, you will see that they sometimes get like bad setups like that paralysis trap. They can make the time go super fast. Skipping turns extremely. That's how sometimes you'll see them walk and then suddenly like dash like crazy, like we see on Alymra's side. It is not a fast forward feature. It's just how the game is literally done. Like you have buttons combinations to do that, and when skipping like maybe 30 turns, at some point you will unparalyze, and you just hope that nothing happens during these 30 turns. So that's why sometimes you'll hear me like, "Oh, he's blind. Oh, he's not anymore." It's because they skip turns super fast. Because I mean, what else will they do, right? The Kraken is destroying everything. Absolutely. We have a hype egg on floor 13. Yeah, the reason why they're gonna hatch, and you might not always see that. Oh, actually, we see, okay, U-Boat. U-Boat is a great bet, and it's really sad that Alymra lost that. I don't know if that's the same egg Wugga's found, but that is gonna be costing Alymra probably, because a U-Boat is probably, in terms of speedrunning or tournament playing, the second best egg you can find. I was gonna explain the first one, but maybe I'll actually switch on explaining the second one. U-boats have two special abilities. The first one you will see them do in the tower. It's going to be to actually get into the ground and then get the first hit. Now that's not super useful, especially in terms of when you use them. It's going to cost a lot of MP to do, and what are you going to gain? An extra hit over an enemy? It's fine, but you know, not that great. You can already manipulate that. But the second ability you're going to get from a U-Boat, Volcano is trash. We don't want to see that. It'll probably be thrown right away. Or Fusion? For Fire Elemental? Maybe. Anyway, point is, if you see a U-Boat use its second ability, aha! Now this time it will go into the ground, but it will actually just start walking around. Like, it'll just going to happen. And at that point, you get a full revealed minimap for the floor. Now, it costs a ton of MP, but one of the things that's weird about Azure Dreams is you can use an ability even if you don't have the MP for it, as long as you have at least 1 MP. So, and you won't go into negatives, it will just drop you to 0. So if you have 1 MP and the ability costs 1,000,000, it doesn't matter, it'll just brings you to 0. And now you can use herbs you find on the ground and give your monster 3 new MP. Use those 3 MP to scout the floor and go around. So that would mean that every fruit, seeds, or herbs you find actually means that you can get a full reveal of the next floor. Finding the elevator right away, manipulating to move around, and at that point, get to the next floor. So if we have a U-Boat in that egg, that would be great. Yeah, the direct magic seems to be a little bit inaccurate in terms of, and I say that to be polite, I guess because I had a hard time targeting those. But yeah, it's a decent spell if it hits. Level 8 is a little bit low in terms of magic. But, I mean, we know these runners, we know that they're going to be low level. Level 9 of floor 15 is playing with fire, but that's going to be interesting. And we're going to get a fire fusion on Wugga's side to get that kid back to its, what should be its normal spell elements, fire, and that's going to be great against those Garudas. Although, oh, we have a Scarlet one. It is cursed, so they are going to get stuck with it. But, I mean, that's not a bad place to get stuck at. Although, when they're going to get onto those next water floors, that could be a bit scary. Now, they have a full... I mean, Alymra never changed the element of his pets, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Although, right now, that might be a bit scary. But Wugga's, for right now, being fire is probably going to be a little bit more helpful. Up until you get to see a lot of those water monsters again. And we have Alymra in some kind of a situation, let's call it that. Hulim is a very good option against Kraken, and that Kraken is gone. When you use it on yourself, it brings you back to town at the cost of your pet. So we are arguing that probably it means that we just release that Kraken into town. Sorry, villagers, but we have speedruns to be done. Alright, alright. Okay, floor 17, we're gonna start to see pickets on Wugga's side. Those pesky little monsters actually, that's one of the monsters they got from the eggs at the beginning. They run super fast. They do 2 actions for every one you do. Absolutely leave that floor, Wugga, please. Thank you very much. Or they're actually gonna fight, and that's fine. Pickets are gonna move 2 for every move you do, so you can never run away from them. And we see one on the side of the screen, that green thing with a big smile. But if they reach you, they will actually steal your stuff. Now, putting a monster in the way like they're doing right now is very clever, especially a fire monster. Pickets hits twice, yeah, but they are extra weak. And they are worth a very good amount of experience. So right now, what Wugga is doing is just grinding out that experience points. See, they critted the kid, and the kid actually took 1 damage from the crit. They are not scary at all. That kid can do that. Not for days, but for quite a long time. But that Maniva is going to seal the deal. Yeah, you can already see Wugga coming back to get the elevator. They're going to get the kill on the last enemies, but they are leaving this floor for sure. And the timing is going to be perfect. And let's go. Get experience and get the hell out of here. Now you see Wugga is now at level 11. 2 level over Alymra, which is actually... yeah, they're pretty close. 9 is not bad at all either, so don't get me wrong, this is going to be very interesting. It seems that Alymra slowed down quite a bit. They were actually very fast at first, but obviously Wugga is a very experienced runner, and they are fast beyond belief. Alymra is keeping up actually pretty well, to be honest. 3 floors difference is nothing that can be done in a few seconds. But those ice rock plays are very slow, like I said earlier. It's a very good spell ball. Alymra has been playing and using those a lot. But yeah, it is a distraction, yes. But you have to watch a bunch of attack animation, which slows the gameplay down a ton. But that's better than being dead, so better that than nothing else. Very good monster manipulation on Alymra's side, waiting for that Garuda to leave the room. And they are going to be on floor 16, although Wugga is going to be on floor 19. 1 extra floors of pickets that might actually want to steal your inventory, but after that, it's going to be very, very good. Coming into play goes super fast if you get lucky. Yeah, absolutely. Just going to zoom in, pray for elevator. Exactly. Oh, we have already an exit on that floor 19. No more pickets for Wugga. I say no more. That's not exactly true. You can still find them on floor 25 because of an event in game. And if you haven't not triggered the event like they did, there's still going to be 1/16th of a chance that every monster spawn is a picket, so they're going to be pretty rare, and that's only for floor 25. So let's just hope we don't see many more, but generally that's a sigh of relief you breathe when you reach level 20, which we call the Viper Town. Viper Town is not a safe place at all, but being away from pickets is at least, that's done, right? And I wish we could say the same for Manivas, but, Manivas come back 3 times in the tower. Same as Troll, so that's going to be very scary. We see Alymra going into picket territory, but that's going to be much scarier because this time we're going to get to deal with them. They use a pretty cheeky strat that I really appreciate. You put something on the ground and then you step on it. Okay, very lucky here. And if you step on something and a picket tries to steal from your inventory, they will instead steal what's under your feet. And we lose a sleep ball on the Alymra side. That's a very high value item that is now lost. They can find the enemy back and kill it, but I don't think they have anything to actually deal any kind of damage. This is starting to look very bad on the Alymra side. Don't get me wrong, they can still absolutely win the race, but being commando on those floors and getting your inventory absolutely obliterated, yeah, that's not something you want to see, because that's worse. Like, obviously, every battle is already, unfair, and that's the picket that has this ball. When they come to you and turn around, it means they have an item already and they don't need another one. This is going to be extremely scary for sure. Blinder Ball might be a play here. You would need to either pick up or move around, but that's a scary proposition in a long corridor with Picket's World. I don't know. This is starting to be very exciting, obviously, but also very dangerous. So we have a slow trap. Mahel is going to be used to counteract that. Very good on Wugga's side. On Alymra's side, however, and that's a picket. All right, still Blinder Ball. That's terrible. We're losing all our high values item. This is why having a monster here is huge value, but sadly, I mean, maybe at that point you just get out your pickets of your own. I know it's not gonna survive for long, but Binding Ball 3 charges, trying to what? They don't have any source of damage right now. Throw that picket away, okay, that's good, but then you need to pick up that monster as well. And if that failed, okay, Binding Ball is gonna do it, yeah, for sure. Wugga is trying to play some shenanigans. Vipers, if there is an egg in a room they are, will never attack you until they have eaten that egg. So Wugga is just putting the egg here and then pick it up and put them there. And the Vipers just trying to go around Ko instead of attacking because obviously, and they will just never get the egg. Mild Seed, huge, fine Alymra side, many an enemy. Maybe you use that's a warp trap. Maybe you use that. I think you do. Well played, let's go. Oh no, what did I say? Okay, that's very good pickup. Okay, lucky. You need that luck right now. That's gonna be very scary. Now the Arachne and the Picket in the north section of Alymra screens are gonna bump into each other and they're gonna choose a direction and go there. I hope it's not gonna. Oh, that's such a scary proposition. Maybe use that warp trap again because right now you kind of need that. Okay, that's the Picket that stole something. So that it's not dangerous. They choose to go, and that's going to be a Maneuver. That's fine. Just move forward, and they are out. Very well played. Good patience on Alymra's side. That was a scary room indeed. All right, already going on floor 20 out of the Picket territory on both sides, and Wugga did take a decent lead, but not a crazy lead. That's only 4 floors. Now, obviously, they are in a much better situation right now, but, you know, oh, that's a zoo. Zoo are very scary. You never fight a zoo. If they roar at you, they will actually have a chance to paralyze you. That's a status that you never want to have, because at that point, you cannot control your character or give order to your pet. And that's definitely how we win. An expert move. Exactly. Steve knows my love for bad... I'm sorry, he said good puns. This is something I can absolutely appreciate. Very manageable with a Fire Kid. Absolutely, yeah. 1 AI, one... Well, with a Fire Kids and a Scarlet Wand. Although I guess the kid could have taken a hit, obviously. That's not that scary. But that's the power of having a good pet versus running Commando. Alymra is gonna have a rough time right now because that Palumpa following him around is not dangerous, but if he takes a hit, yes, the Unicorn is gonna be freed, and that's not something you want. Pick up again. Oh, that pickup luck works very well on Alymra's side. Let's go. All right. Both our runners continuing to play along. This run is looking very good. This is impressive how Alymra without a pet are still alive. Not that these kinds of runners are not good at doing that. It's just something that always baffles me, even if I've seen it a million times. Commando is extremely scary. If you've seen people grind any percent, like for serious time, the amount of resets you get in that mode is kind of crazy. And unexpected, obviously, as a speedrun refines, you're going to see that more and more. But yeah, and do we get to see that? Might be Maneuver. Yeah, that's probably a scary position, but that's not for today. Alymra leaves that room, and yeah, we're gonna get to see Wugga, hoping for not getting a miss here. Obviously, I hope no commentary occurs, and they are gonna get to see another floor in 26. Alymra 22, only 4 floors separating them, which is, like, decent. Like, that can be done in a very second. One player goes left, one player goes right, and suddenly it's not the same race at all anymore. And obviously, they have already a starting position that's very different with the idea of having a pet versus not. Ice Rock is going to be, again, a slow proposition, but that's going to leave Alymra easily leaving that zone of combat and hoping that the elevator is in that next room. But that's going to be a very interesting day today because we are moving on into 30-minute half of the time allotted, and they are already past half of the tower, which is very, very good. And don't forget, today is special. It's the finals. We're going to get a best of 3. So even if Wugga or Alymra loses or wins their first game, we're going to get to see at least another one, or maybe 2, depending on who wins the second one, right? That's going to be a very fun evening of Azure Dreams, but it is already exciting. Love me this game. It is just one of my favorite. We're going to get to see a throw, turning monsters around. Sadly, that's not the monster you want to see turned around. And we have Alymra in a very bad situation. Mahel seed early is a very good play. Try a pickup, maybe? No. Yep, now you do. Yes, let's go. Mahel makes you run, well, play twice as fast for 4 rounds. That's not a long time, but that is just what they needed. Although they are now stuck in a very long monster train, and you're not getting out of that monster train without taking a hit somewhere in there. Yeah, throwing the Viper seems like the play right now, and taking a hit. That's not great, but at least that Viper is de-aggroed. The other Viper is not aggroed either. Throwing that unicorn seems like good. That would actually get you out of that situation. But that was like a dangerous move here. Um, what are we gonna get to see? Because now you cannot move from there. You need a way to find to get away because you would have grown the Viper, which would be worse. That's gonna be extremely dangerous. What is the solution? Ice Rock is a solution. Buys you sometimes if you're lucky. They can still hit you though. And it does! And we have a match one. Alymra is down. Wugga is the winner of the first match. Oh my, oh my. Yeah, GG, absolutely. Okay, let me tell our runners that that has happened. All right. Yeah, a big salute to Alymra that actually played out of their mind. We get to see a little bit of what the town, well, your house looks like. And Alymra goes into the bath of shame, but there is no shame here. That was a very well played run, especially considering no pet was for with him for the longest part of the tower run. That was absolutely well played. Um, but yeah, Wugga is a very rough player to play against. It has been known that he is so good that he makes people. That's funny. He makes people play differently. I have been a victim of that in the past, whereas I try to play faster than I normally do, making mistakes, and end up actually playing worse. But that's the kind of speed you want, and you need to want. And that was a U-boat. That would have been great. And I know he feels bad right now. He's just chucking eggs to show us what's inside. Maniva, and Maniva is not bad at all, but for speed, maybe not the best. But in a casual playthrough, very good monster to find for the duping glitch. But in terms of speed, that U-boat would have been great. The egg reveal, yeah. Went from 1522 with no monster, not bad at all. Absolutely, exactly. Yeah. They're gonna get to both reset. I will tell them if they have the right speed once they reach that screen. But how do you guys appreciate run so far? It's been very good. We have a point on Wugga's side, but it's still all to play for. 75-21. That's very good. 75-21. All right. Yep. Didn't write that in the right place, but that's fine. Booker is asking for a 5 minute break, probably just taking time to cool down from after those crazy plays. It is known, like this game takes a lot out of you, yeah. Beauty point for going wind. Beauty points, is that what they're called now? Wind is wind beautiful? Probably, actually. But then he gets negative point for not fusing it with pickets. Oh, really? Oh, pickets are terrible. I don't know what you're talking about. It's not terrible. Like I can absolutely see an Arachne or a Nashra fused with a pickets for very good results. It's just like I said, I don't like when my monster half of the time is not gonna do what I commanded, or they're gonna do that and then something else that I might not want. But obviously when you hit like two trucks, I guess that yeah, two trucks taped together. I guess that makes sense too. Yeah. So, what do you guys want to see as a monster for the beginning of the next run? I feel like I've asked that a million times, and yet I have not seen it. Chai goes with his classic Napless. That is one we haven't seen in a minute, but I would love to see a killer. The reason for that, and I explain it sometimes, but one I really appreciate the killer is that it is not exactly known. Killer has a good attack set. I think at level 1 it should be like 6 attack. That's not crazy, but that's above average. Average would be around about 5. But what's not exactly known is there is code to tell that the killer actually has a weapon equipped. It's not the only monster that's got that. But it is one. And that monster, second. That monster is known to have a weapon equipped, and that weapon is the strongest weapon amongst monster. Those hacks and add 8. So imagine like a sword that adds 5 is good, and Ko's attack is weaker than Killer's. So that plus 8 actually turns that 6 into like 14. And 14 is very good at level 1. It just gets stronger, obviously, by leveling up. And they also have a higher critical chance via their passive. And they have a skill called Get Serious, where you spend MP to ensure a crit. These things hurt really, really, really bad. Killers get plus 8 weapon damage. Absolutely. The other options, I think, is Clown and Death. I think they get plus 4 with their size. And yeah, so very, very interesting idea to have monsters like wield weapons, even though there was actually a troll that wields weapon, but then it doesn't do much. No Clown. Okay, just a Death. But yeah, plus 4 is very nice. Orlando and Lumpy. Oh, that's what you want to see? Orlando Balloon and Lumpy is like, what, a Balumpa? Lumpy, okay. And Golem is plus 4 too? Oh, very interesting, actually. I didn't know that. Well, that makes sense. That probably explains why they hit so hard. We're gonna get both our runners ready. Let me just count them down. And they're gonna get moving very soon, although there is a little bit of a delay, so you might hear me say that, and then they won't start in before a few seconds. IQNI I don't think is possible because buggy. Yeah, you cannot have IQNI. I don't think programmer ever fixed that problem, or maybe they couldn't. But yeah, at first it was a possibility that the egg would be IQNI, but then it caused bugs. So yeah, IQNI seeds are filtered out. Yeah, so actually, yeah, they are generated and then okay, excluded from the pool. That makes sense to me. But yeah, we thought it would be too complicated. It was too sad to lose a run for a bug and having to restart. It would be pretty funny. I assume most people like know what IQNI's spell is, but he's got a spell to make you invincible for a few turns, which is pretty good. But the Mixed Magic is a 3x3 one-shot spell, which you can even get IQNI in the AoE and die, which is crazy. And we have a U-boat! Oh my god, okay. Well, you guys remember what I said about U-boat, and about the fact that it's exciting. Now we're gonna get to see, are they gonna use it to either go fast, or as a partner for combat? Will they actually keep it in the box? Also, U-boats will have its spells awaken, which is pretty cool. Yeah, with Summon Magic. We haven't seen Summon Magic in ages, and I feel like they might showcase it just for fun, but I don't think we're going to see it often. What's the element of this? So we have like actually, oh yeah, the wind version could be fun, because then the wind version is a water spell, I think? It is the wind version! Oh, Dio Rock is crazy. Okay. Yeah, it's bugged. It's not bugged. It just doesn't do the right element. It's a wind spell that does water damage. Is that right? Yeah, it is right. Yeah. Sailboat, yeah. Got the sub, this should be interesting. Yeah. The wind version is relatively fast too by comparison to water. Yeah, the animation you mean. Yeah, the animation of the water one is crazy. And we get Annapolis for reals! Okay, this is a crazy seed. We actually didn't see Alymra hatch the egg, so I guess they are content with the U-boat. And that makes sense, but that Annapolis is actually nice. The water animation is so cool. Absolutely. But maybe we won't even get to see it. Maybe we will. But as soon as... Maybe they don't remember and they will use it and they'll be like, yeah, okay, never again. We do see Alymra use the U-boat ability to actually find the elevator, which wasn't too far, but that's a scary room. They have a good mirror shield, the money one, and that's a great. But yeah, we see big damage coming against that troll on Alymra's side with what you would think should be a wind spell, but actually is water. Which is also interesting because that bull they're throwing out, if you also have a second spell, monster can have 2 spells, or actually 3, but you know. And we have a misplay on Wugga's side. That U-boat is gone. Oh, that's not very nice. So they will try to move around. Yeah. Okay. This is getting very scary. You don't want to lose that U-boat early to a bad troll move. Those kind of corridor where there's a big too deep crack is kind of scary. Maybe leaving the floor would be good. What are they even gonna do? Okay. I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking at right now because it seems Wugga like obviously lost control of the monster, but I'm not sure what plan is like following the pet. Oh yeah, 5 damage here is extremely scary. That U-boat cannot take an extra hit, and that's going to be the end of the U-boat on Wugga's side. Terrible, terrible situation to happen. And we already see Alymra going on floor 4. The Nautilus is going to come out. Don't get me wrong, that's not bad. We see also Alymra shooting a bull. That spell will fail, or not fail, but stop hurting as soon as it changes elevation. So it won't go up or down, not even one tile. So you need to hit someone that's exactly the same height as you are. Nautilus is a good monster to have on Wugga's side. But the problem is it's pretty weak in terms of... Its stats are fine, but it's got nothing to go on to warrant the fighting style, right? And that's dangerous for one... Oh, lucky Warp Trap on Wugga. Didn't go too far, didn't lose the second pet. That would be terrible. But yeah, it's going to be slow to use Annapolis. It's strong-ish. It's fine. It can deal damage. But at that point, you would want like an Awaken spell would be great. What's even the spell Annapolis? I don't even remember. That must be like one of the sled bread, whatever. It's probably not Pillar. And yeah, the only fire spell that's not a flame sword is Poison, and it's only Barong that's got that. Is it Rise? Oh, really? Okay, okay. Interesting. It is not something we often see. We don't see Annapolis often at all. Now, I didn't talk about it, and maybe I should. The only stats that Ko's got that is extremely good early is his HP. It doesn't scale very well, but at first, Ko's HP is crazy. Most monsters have like 8 or 9, and Ko is like 16, which is, you know, good. Well, look at the HP on the bottom. 26 is still where Ko's HP is scaling good. That Nautilus got double health. So it should have 19, but it's sitting on 38. That is a lot of HP. That is also a trait that can be fused into something different. And we see an Egg Bomb on Alymra's side, and that Nautilus is gone. They are going to be now completely stuck into U-boats on one side, Nautilus on the other side. And I feel like it is much better on the Alymra's side because U-boat has got a lot of uses outside of combat. Yeah, it's not going to be better than Annapolis in combat. The problem is, Nautilus is not that great in combat either. So, all in all, I feel like the utility you will bring, you can already see that, like, right? They see the map, now they know where to go, and goodbye, bye-bye. Alright, although you still have to go and find it, I mean, get to the elevator, but you don't need to find it. Just like everyone else when you trigger this. That hurts my soul. Not often we see. Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. Fireball is going to be absolutely huge right now. Okay, they're going to do Maneuver Juke. Another one. Move around. And that's it. Let's go. Maneuver, probably because of their item transformation abilities, actually have a lesser... Oh, they want to kill for the experience? I get that. They already spent some resource. But yeah, Maneuver, probably because of the item transformation ability, actually have half the line of sight of other monsters. So they're pretty much like Mole. They actually only sees you in corridor when you are in melee with them. Which is, let's us do some weird stuff. Sunka's Fallacy. Yeah, absolutely. But I would have done the same. You spend a resource to get damage. You want that experience. They have Pillar Fire. I think they can sunk us on that one. Alright, we saw the elevator on the spin. Let's hope that Alymra has a keen eye and have seen it too, which would keep some resources on that U-boat. That ability is extremely expensive though, and we're gonna get to see that. I think they saw it, yeah. So they're gonna have to find some items and put that in their inventory. You can push strat this. There you go. We don't see push strat often, but I love seeing it. Now, the scary part, obviously, is you need to look at Alymra's level. He is level 3. So is Wugga, but Wugga is on floor 5. Alymra's on floor 11. And we saw Griffin there. And that could be extremely scary. Yeah, for sure. He's scouting the floor. You're absolutely going to be one-shotted by a rise from afar. Now... They might feel confident. They have a mirror shield. 75% chance to reflect that spell back onto the caster. Sure, but if that U-boat takes the hit, that's a kill. And if that 75% doesn't proc, that's also a kill. So, I mean, those strats that we love to use in speedrun, the U-boat, Scout, and the Garuda Update, is are both gonna leave you very low level. The pacing is crazy, absolutely. When you get to floor 12 on 8 minutes, including the introduction. Well, oh, we get to see the rise. We get to see and that's 27. That's a kill. That's a kill. Absolutely scary proposition on Griffin floor, but the mirror shield is not trusty enough, and we get a loss here. Wow, we have our winner, Wugga, here, and that was a sight to behold. I'm gonna get to call both our runners. Oh, it is not winners yet. I am calling it too fast. That is absolutely right. My bad, my bad. Wugga could still lose this. We went on floor 12, but Alymra got there first. So Wugga needs to get to floor 13, and that's not done at all. Man, I was so quick to call it for sure. That is a very sad death we see on Alymra's side. I just did call it. I knew that was a possibility. Those low-level plays are always going to yield scary results. It wasn't exactly where I would have started to use fireballs to get more experience. You saw the idea behind the Maneuver play, and that was like a good idea, but I guess I would have waited a little bit of a few floors, maybe to get the Pickett's territory, to get that XP back. But too low level, yeah. Absolutely, 13 is going to be the target here. And Wugga is having a rough time with that U-boat. Obviously, Naples can take a few hits, but it cannot take infinite hits. And it's also Fire Naples, normal elements, against that U-boat. 7 damage, though. It's tanking pretty okay, but yeah, 3 damage is just too little. And that U-boat is being a pain. Instead of fighting back, just goes underground, buying a few turns for that bloom to get in. And that's not something you want to see. Now, at some point, I feel like you gotta go in melee and pick up that U-boat and throw it, because once Bloom reach, at 3 damage a turn, U-boats will take 10 hits. Oh yeah, quick, let's go! 4. But that's scary. You cannot pick up a Bloom. Throwing swords helps, for sure. Pillar Ball? Okay. They've definitely decided to be serious about pincer attack, which is the thing I have complained about runners not taking pincer attack too seriously. Wugga definitely takes this seriously, spending 2 good resources on this. That'd be too OP. The ultimate power Wugga sleep. Almost close to cheating? Oh, was there any cheating involved, potentially? I assume that's kind of a joke. But that's going to be a very scary thing. Also, Wugga doesn't know that they are close to winning. Still 4 floors to go. This is all to play for all the marbles, like they say. Started to hatch. Okay. I mean, actually, what are you expecting from that egg? Oh, another U-boat, probably. Napless sleep ability. Sleep would confuse U-boat, probably. Alright. Unlocking Nap's magic? Is that a thing? Oh, unlocking... Yeah. Diffusing. Alright, sorry. I'm reading chat as if it was something I didn't know. No, you mean fusing to get Napless ability, and suddenly you have a chance with Scarlet 1. Yeah. That's a very good idea. And we get it. Clown. Okay, that's not bad. I think you still fuse just for the double magic, obviously. And low down level. Yeah. That makes sense to me. That's a very good combination to make right now. You get a lot of power from that fusion. Oh, he wants the clown. Oh, they don't have equal experience. You would need to bag the Naples here. Because that clown is not at 0 experience. It is at 0 experience on the level, so. Okay. I'm not sure what we're going for right now, but that's fine. Yeah, the fight here should not be too rough. We have a Fire Sword +1 against Clown. That's going to be huge. Okay, and we're going to switch here. And then Fuse. I'm not sure what they were hoping. Okay, there we go. Lie down. I guess they wanted a way to unlock the Flame Sword spell instead, but Lie Down is going to be huge as well. Although this time you want to have a Fire Sword, so that's a very good weapon to have for that specific spell. Yeah, range magic is going to be huge here. Dreamin, not too hard to fight. 28 experience is as good as it gets on those floors. Although on next floor, we're going to get much better option. But yeah. Naples level didn't decrease. It's fine. I had 33 damage, one-shot kill on a clown. Very serious. The idea was to heal the Naples. I'm pretty sure that's what they're going for. And taking some experience in the process. Regenerating health is a slow process. And obviously that Naples has a ton of health to regenerate. So that might take a second. We are on floor 10. We saw the elevator and the spin. Same as what we saw on Alymra's side, what it was the thing. And we're going to get to see Wugga probably beeline to that position. You probably don't want to shield. Obviously, that would be better to get a leather, but do you really want to fight? Maybe they do. Okay, they don't. We get to see a few crossbow trolls being a pain, because that's what crossbow trolls do. And star glasses is always good fine. We're going to get on floor 11. Now, griffins are going to start to be here, and that's scary. Or no, is it 12? No, it is 11. And, yeah, sleeping griffin just right there, and they definitely... Oh, no, they want to fight. I mean, 12 damage isn't good, don't get me wrong, but... Yeah, you don't want this thing to wake up. Although, we have the mirror shield, and we are level 6 this time. That's not going to kill one shot. That's probably going to be like 25 damage. It's still more than half. That's better than Lucky Magic. You might want to keep the mirror if he takes same movements and get right. Yep. For sure. Although they don't know that, but they probably would want to know. That's going to be 2 shot to kill that. Oh, 40! We have a full 1-shot kill. It's important to see that Lay Down is very high level right now. So that's obviously, like, nothing to scoff at, for sure. Alright, fighting fire with fire, shooting at a crossbow troll, dealing 15 damage. And those crossbow trolls are worth a decent amount of experience. 3 casts is going to be enough. The MP cost on that spell is very low. You can do that for days. That's actually less expensive than physically attacking. So, yeah. And we are on floor 12. The floor of destiny. The moment of truth, or star. This is going to be the floor. Okay, that starts really rough. Mix Lay Down, shooting from a distance to try and will down that little boy. Actually turning him around. And doing it again. And doing it again. That's going to take a few hits, but those griffins are definitely something you don't play with for fun. So fighting them from afar is a very good idea. If you don't want the same fate as we saw it last time. Here, 44 damage plus the 12 from the hit from the sword. That's a lot of damage from a single strike. All the version of the clown spells in every element is renowned for being extremely potent against monsters that are weak against that element, and extremely weak against monsters that are resistant to it. We have the elevator on the room. The moment of truth, is this happening? Is Wugga going to be, like, excited to get more items? No, they are leaving the floor. They're not. Are they? Don't play with my heart. And we have our winner for real this time. Floor 13 on Wugga's side. GG. Oh my, oh my. That was crazy. That was crazy. It was so crazy that I even thought that we had a winner already, although we didn't. Yeah, wow. What a match we got. Okay. This was a crazy run, but what if I told you, chat, that it could get crazier? Our runners are challenging each other for a friendly third. Now, the marbles are already won. But who's gonna actually get the third? The friendly third match is a custom we have in our community that is very fun. And that means that our runners are actually gonna play for nothing. Just for fun. Just for... You can expect crazier strategy, maybe not. It's a good way to showcase fun and things. Crazier. I know. Friendly third is just something that we've done for so long, and you know, we're here, we reserve a block on SpeedGaming for a little bit more time, and might as well. Sometimes I run after a final, which has been like very draining, shy away from that, and I absolutely understand it. I have refused a friendly third in those specific situations. You're just so like, you know, like, you've given it your all. But it feels like our runners still have a little bit left in the tank that they are willing to... Oh, bye-bye. We don't get to see a Hulim use on your pet often. But yeah. They are actually going to do it for your pleasures. And that's going to be very, very interesting indeed. 6656. That's probably the right seed. It is. And we're going to get to wait on Wugga to do the same and set up. It is the right seed. All right. So they're gonna both move to the house, and wow, I cannot believe actually that this is a thing because, like I said, we never see this or almost never see this in a final match. It just goes to show how these guys wants to give you like to show you, and let you have a good time, and they have a good time too. Obviously, this game is crazy hard, but at some point you develop some kind of a feeling that you know what, I played my best. Towers sometimes say yes, sometimes, often says no. I did what I had to do, right? Water picket starter with glitched entry. That'd be crazy. Glitch entry is something we might see, and it's not something you're going to see in tournament matches often. So glitch entry is a way we have found to go out of bounds in town, from your house into the tower without triggering the bridge event. So you never get CUNY or the replacing monster, and you actually enter the tower in a commando mode. This is something that you will see often in any percent grinds, because obviously they're not gonna, talk to the pet on the bridge. There's also a tutorial we skip with the emulator version, like the ad rando version of the game, but in any percent you play the normal game, so you do the tutorial. Well, if you never got your pet in the first place on the bridge, you don't get to do the tutorial because they are the one giving it to you. So a lot of time saved here. All right, I'm gonna count them down. And it's gonna start very soon. I am gonna ask you what kind of pets you want to see, and I'm gonna repeat my proposition, but we might not get it to see any pets. And I've never seen, I don't remember seeing Alymra do glitch entry, which is not something that's hard to do, but it's something that's hard to do fast. And I don't know that they're good at it. They might be, they might not be, who knows. You know a weird monster that I've never seen rolled is a zoo? Yeah. Would be cool to see their secret spell. Ooh, I know what their secret spell is, and it's crazy, but it's very expensive. Tyrant Op, believe they do. Bush strats. Every strat is a bush strat, but Soil Claw? No, Soil Claw is from the Game Boy version. Get out of here, Chad. Alright. Garuda Seed incoming. That'd be crazy. Especially if one of them glitch entry doesn't get it. Oh, we see diagonal. Diagonal. No, it's straight. Okay, they're going for the pet. They are going for the pet. What did we see? Kraken! Oh, release the Kraken. That's going to be a fun seed. It is a very good monster, but it's not as good as your pet as it is scary as an enemy, because the strongest ability of a Kraken is when it takes a beating, it dishes that a percentage of that damage back. But if you take so much damage that the damage back is dangerous, then you won't have a pet for long, obviously. But as an enemy, if you find 4, 5, 6 of them in a row, they are going to dwindle your HP down. And it doesn't matter that you use some strat to actually mitigate the number of times they hit you. You hurt yourself when you hit them. Obviously, wands like that are made of wood will not contract electricity. Having a earth shield will prevent that too. But that's not necessarily. We have vital sword, wooden shield, flame orb, purple egg, and medicinal. They definitely want to go for a Atch here. Important to note that Kraken as a wind version could get you Thunderblade, which is my favorite strat. It's not good, but it's my favorite nonetheless. It's not good, it's just not crazy good. What do we have here? A Cyclone! Oh, that's interesting now. Cyclone gives the half MP consumption trait, which can be fused, and that's going to be very interesting if we get to see that on the Kraken. Makes it that your monster can go for twice as long. And that every MP recovery item is worth double, right? So very good things to see right now. A very dangerous starting room 1. That Kraken is also fire, important to note, not water as it normally is. And it already is going to be close to death on Wugga's side, but that's very nice. We get to see a level up on both sides, and right now that should be much simpler, much simpler. Yeah, Kraken's got decent stats. 7, 7, 18 on level 2 is very good stats. But all in all, it's not something that's going to be that great. And we get to see immediately a fusion on Wugga's side just to get an MP consumption halved. And the earlier you do it, obviously, that's just going to be better. And we have a monster with 2 traits. We haven't seen that in the tournament for a minute. Shock and have MP consumption on a single monsters. You cannot have more than 2 passives ability, and that is if the winner of the fusion gets 1 by default. You cannot use a monster that do not have an ability and put 2 together. The no ability is an ability that will replace another one. And Wugga probably will use Blue Sand. You think so? We thought Alymra so well, he doesn't even equip the Wood Shield. Yes! It's terrible! Wooden Shield is terrible. Defense, reduce damage by half its value. Wooden Shield gives you 2 defense. That means that it reduces damage by 1. Now, obviously, when the monster hits for 4 and then it hits for 3 instead, that's, you know, a decent chunk. But very, very quickly, Wooden Shield is terrible. Luckily, and maybe that's the reason why Wugga even took the time to equip it, it cannot be cursed, because that's your first starting equipment. But if there is any other wooden shield, you never want to equip that, or almost every shield for that matter. Although I do sometimes, but I mean, okay, the very reasoning why you would equip a shield early and risk being cursed is that early on it actually makes a very decent difference. And in my mind, the first part is so scary that it's worth like building over. But getting, oh, we have a paralysis trap that didn't work. Lucky Wugga. And that friendly turn is exciting. It did work on the Alymra's side. But we get to see a slide. That's going to be a lot of damage here on the Kraken. Kraken's going to defend its master. But that's not going to be enough. We might see that Kraken actually leave this world. And this is happening. Kraken is dead on Alymra's side. Just a change of RNG actually made a huge difference. He's not unparalyzing, taking many hits, but actually he survives, killing the flame and leveling up. That was a very scary situation. See, just the difference of RNG can change a world very, very drastically. Not a lot of luck on the Alymra's side. But they've made sure so far that we keep being entertained with those crazy situations. It is a feel bad. But yeah, Alymra's getting very good without a pet. They still have a Cyclone that they can use. Obviously not a great pet as it is. But if you get to unlock their spells, it might not be very long for uses, but that spell is absolutely crazy strong. And we've never seen that spell being used in the tower because of its MP cost, obviously, and because it's not got a wide distribution. But if ever we could see like a Picket and a Cyclone fuse to unlock Cyclone spell, that'd be so great. I would love to see that someday. That's the strongest spell in the game. No monster has it awakened by default. You need to dig into those special monsters without spell to awaken it. And it's also, if I'm not wrong, the only damaging spell that isn't fire. And that would have been great. It has been released from the Mortal Coil. It is probably the first time in my life where I'm sad that the Krakens died. But yeah, Magic blinded the balloon. Yeah, the mixed magic from the Kraken in the fire version isn't that great, although it does blind, which can be used to some shenanigans, but the fact that you have to deliver in melee really makes it bad, in my opinion. The wind version, though, would be absolutely great to see. The water version is nothing special. It just deals some damage. It doesn't scale very well. And it doesn't scale with the wand, which is probably the worst part. But yeah, absolutely. We are seeing a crazy run. Now, people have been commenting that the seeds I make, the Sand Knight seeds, are... how would I say that? They used choice words to describe it. And I guess there's some truth in it. This is a scary set of seed, but I don't know. I like seeing them. Maybe I'm a little bit of a sadist in some kind of a way, but you know, sadist. I don't know. The ones that like to look at whatever. Great and amazing. Yeah. Why do you put air quotes around those words? All right. With the quotes. I know. I don't know why they're there, but I know they're there. Alright, do we get to see our runner? Alymra actually taking quite a beating here. Vital Sword is a strong one, so it will actually take care of that Cyclone quickly. But he's already at 10 HP. If he gets casted on, he's going to be very close to death. Switching that flame into an ally, getting into the tube of invincibility is going to be huge. That flame that is his friend, and you heard the air quotes too, right? is not going to be here for long because now he's getting bashed by that troll and that flame. But actually, no, the elemental, no, the height advantage was good enough to actually make it so he won. And then, oh, we have a rough situation on Wugga's side too. He's actually slow. So that Maneva is actually going to play only twice. So we see a blind is going to take 2 hits. It's actually forced to hit him this time because blind makes it so you move forward unless there's someone, and then if you can't, you actually attack instead. This is also a very weird thing, but you see the Kraken attack twice, even hitting nothing. When you are slowed, everyone plays 2 turns for your 1 turn. But they can actually be manipulated at your advantage because if the next monster to attack is your pet, they will attack twice before the enemy do. That's not going to be yours, then the enemy, then yours and the enemy. It's going to be yours, then enemy, enemy. But if your 2 hits is a kill, then there is no enemy strike. That could be fun. They're just jealous that their seeds aren't that spicy. I don't know what you're talking about. This is a very spicy seed. Oh, you mean what, the Revens? Oh, no. I've made spicy seeds for Revens in the past. Don't you worry. That's not jealousy, that's pain. I love making seeds and making crazy seeds. Like, for a tournament finals, I feel like it kind of needs to be because... Yeah, but I mean, you've been here, you've seen those seeds, you know what I'm talking about. Big Pita Fruit on Wugga's side. That is not something you see every day. Very, very rare item. Don't get me wrong, it's nothing too special. It's like fruits, it's 100 AP instead of 50. But in terms of like luck, that's as rare as a Roche, if I remember, or probably close to anyway. If not, then that's just a very interesting item to see. We can go full run and everything. And we get another paralysis trial on Alymra. He gets it once. Okay, on paralyzes at the same time. It's not bad. Only took 2 damage too. But that's still a very dangerous situation. Not a dangerous, but I mean, okay, no, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They have a, what's the shield? Steel? -1. That's still 5. 5 at their defense value is -2 damage. That's still relevant right now. So yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And we get to see Wugga reach floor 7. And, oh, Alymra must be tired of traps because, oh yeah, it seems like the game really has something for them right today. 3 Congo line of Manevas coming up for them, but obviously they have the elevator to get away from. Floor 6 and 7, still very close, but obviously Wugga is still slowly grinding up that Kraken to become decently strong, whereas Alymra has to run for their lives. And if that wasn't true before, that is true now, because floor 6, 7, 8, 9 are the scariest sets of floors, except maybe 35 to 39. We see Wugga uses an item loop, which lets you know where every item is. That might seem like not super relevant, although they did find an egg using that, although they didn't know. But the reason why that's kind of nice as a speedrunner is it's still... Items can only spawn in rooms, so if there is an item somewhere, you know there's a room there. And sometimes it can get a little bit floozy on like where the rooms are. Oh, that U-boat hurts so freaking bad. But yeah, that's going to be very, very helpful to have that blinded. And now they can just let them shenanigans. Do we get to sunk cost fallacy on Wugga's side too? No, they are actually... Oh, they are? Okay, but blind must have been spent now. Oh yeah. So what? I guess they really wanted the experience, or maybe there was another reasoning behind it. I can't say I understand it. Weirdly enough, Vital Sword is pretty good on those specific floors. Good for Alymra. It is. Vital Sword is a 5 damage non-elemental weapon, which is in its own right is decent. Most 5 damage weapons are actually elemental, so that one is like the exception. And sometimes an elemental weapon can be good, but it can be bad, so if you want like some stability, that's going to be nice. It's got a weird ability too. If you hit those yellow puddles called Manevas on Wugga's side, they tend to split into smaller version of themselves. Now the splits are weaker. They are 10 level lower than the normal one, I think. But with a Vital Sword, they will never split. I mean, they might split from something else when your pet attacks, but not from your hits with the direct Vital Sword. Which is kind of nice. It's not great, like it's never a reason to want a vital sword, but you have it. It's the strongest weapon in your inventory right now, and you are facing Manila. So why not, right? Very good item. Floor 8 on Wugga side. This is a very slow seed. At the same times last run, I think Alymra was like on floor 13 or 14. He's like half of that right now. But look at why those floors are scary. I always say, like, never get pincered into a situation like Alymra is doing right now. But what is he really going to do about it? Now, obviously, now he's going to spend a flame ball charge. And luckily, only the Maneva can attack from that position. But, oh, he's unlucky. The U-boat moved diagonally forward, which makes him take another hit. And that other hit is pretty darn dangerous. 10 damage. With a good shield. Now, they probably don't want to scout that shield. They already have a cursed one, so they can't really chance unless they decurse it, which they don't have right now. Trap loop probably is going to be very exciting for Alymra. He's taken so many traps to the face right now that, I mean, oh, that's not a good room either. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, just take a hit, I guess. Yeah, okay, that's probably very clever. Some of them will actually de-aggro. It's going to take another hit due to miss movement, but that's not too bad. Blooms are tanky, they're annoying, they hit decently hard, but with a steel shield, they're actually not that bad. But again, walking in prime position for another pincer attack, but again, like I said, when you have a pet, when you have resources, you can solve this, but right now, the problem is that Alymra has very little resources, and he doesn't want to spend it to prevent a pincer. He prefers to hope that it's just never going to happen. But that's scary, again. And they have to walk, and that bloom is coming back. Yeah, eating a limit fruit early is very interesting. Increases your chance to crit to 20% roughly. This is a fluctuating stat, but I guess around about 20%. And the nice part is that it lasts a really long time, like 300 turns or something like that. Very, very big amount of turns. Got an egg though, must be U-boat. Oh, might be U-boat, needs in turn 6, turn 2. Absolutely, 96 turn. Okay, but still very, very good. If it is a U-boat, that'd be great. Although they did both have a U-boat. Sorry about that. And they didn't actually... well, it was a chaotic run if nothing else. And this run seems to be crazier. And I did say it might be crazy, but I said I was like, maybe I'm overselling this. This run makes no sense. They've been so battered up by so many things. And you see, Wugga also have the steel shield, but he just stepped on a rust trap. Now, that vital sword is -1, that steel shield is -2. This is really not something you want to see. I would have used the shield too, don't get me wrong, I'm not judging their choices. Steel early makes a huge difference. But this is no diamond, and thus it can be rusted, which is terrifying. Floor 10 and 11, Wugga is really just behind because the elevator is in the room. Holy Scroll is used on the Alymra's side to get that Griffin to be a member of the party for a second, and that's a good idea. Because Griffin floor alone is kind of scary. You might only have that friend for a floor, but you need it. How is Wugga actually going to use that? Blinding, okay. Which prevents casting, which is nice. So they're going to take a slash to the face. That's going to hurt. 20 damage. Yeah, that's bad. But being blind actually makes it so it attacks the, let's call it Poop Boy, Volcano. 14 is no jokes either. Wugga needs to move around, yeah. He needs to move again. That's not going to be enough. Oh, no, okay, it blinded it. Oh, jeez. Where did my brain go for a second? Okay. It's fine, it's fine. I thought he misplayed there, but he misplayed me. I guess that works. That's fine. We get to see an egg on floor 11. That's the earliest floor you can find a Garuda egg. But what will it cost? Because they are in a bad predicament. 7 damage from a crossbow shot is nothing to scoff at. That's a lot of damage, but takes a few hits. He's got a crossroad, but that could be a scary crossroad. And they decide to walk around back, follow the monsters, and where will it lead them? Okay, move back maybe. I'm not sure what they're thinking. Okay, trying to find out where they want to go. And that's obviously in the, well, right now, bottom left corner, probably. And we have a pincer situation coming up for Alymra. Good pickup. No danger. They really know where they want to go. You can see and feel that, right? But then they're just maneuvering around to make sure that they can actually go and act. The game doesn't wanna... Okay. Throwing out the monster. Make them both turn around and they are rewarded with the elevator. Well played, Alymra. Alright. Blind strats on SK. Blind start. Wugga's using... I'm not understanding that sentence. Strats, I assume, on SK? Did they do something that I didn't see? Very probably. Using blind strats. Oh, you mean blinding monsters? Oh, yeah. Oh, jeez, yeah. Okay. The other play I commented on. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, my brain was already in the other one. Speaking of blind, Alymra right now, blinded by a trap. The traps on Alymra's side. I mean, Wugga had the same traps, and he did step on a few of them, but actually they ended up being, like, duds. Where on Alymra's side, they weren't. And Alymra's really actually fighting back. They are on the same floor. That's crazy. Skeet using confusion strats on SK. That is super effective. But actually, Alymra taking a big hit. Chancing the 1 in 8 against the Griffin. Picks up the Sleeping Volcano. And right now, they want to throw it at the monster. Choosing an extra exit. But now they chose the same exit. What are they going to do? That's a very scary situation. 1 in 8 can still happen in your face. But Alymra actually clears the Griffin. But that Griffin is now awake and aggroed and has power fire to actually do damage from afar. A little bit of a misstep here due to not seeing really well. Another misstep will actually put Alymra in a bad situation. But they do the pickup strat. Walk in the room with a monster in there. And doesn't get punished for it and leave floor 13. That was not an unlucky number for Alymra this time. Very, very nice. Floor 14 is going to be the floor, the highest floor right now on both our players' screens. But that's not too far behind on Wugga's side. That actually is just... And we actually confusion strat on the in a corridor on the same floor for both players. What are the chances? But that's a very interesting way to get out. You know, the confusion scroll is probably like one of the lowest value items you have. So as soon as you find one, it's probably the next resources you spend unless you're in a very bad situation. We see actually our friend Alymra here trying to heat up that peg and maybe get something good, who knows. But that's an interesting situation for sure. Is that going to be mirrored by Wugga here? Because that could be a big difference. Yeah, chance of Garudas could be huge here. And I mean, there was a reason why one of the nicknames for Wugga is the Wugga. Garuda's the strats. Well, it's the strats for everyone, but have you ever seen Wugga do it? It's so fast, and you don't even see the menus at blinding speed. It's so fast. And obviously and you get a U-boats for real? That's crazy. Okay. And you probably see like Alymra be like, oh, okay, what do I do? And obviously he knows what to do. That could be a good fusion to Cyclone. I think that's what we're gonna see. Yes, absolutely. FMP consumption on a U-boat, that could be huge. Was it that they don't have the same... They do, yeah. When U-boat is kind of a scary proposition, but that can be changed with a seed, so we will hope for that. You don't want to lose your pet to just a shot from afar. Chance of Garuda, let's go. Got the sub time to zoom, baby. Oh, yeah! And we see that used right away. And at half MP cost, that's very, very nice. Just 8 MP instead of 16. Don't get me wrong, 8 is outrageous, but 16 is, you know, worst, obviously. It's still gonna, like, not make huge of a difference once they reach those low level, because still an herb is just gonna give you an extra shot, but you're gonna get many extra shots before you get there. Well, double, obviously. And we have Thunderblade going on Wugga's side. We talked about beauty points earlier. I am a huge fan of that Thunderblade. It is a hit that as soon as you hit with your attack, you're always gonna 100% of the time paralyzes the enemy. Except Zeus, because they're immune, obviously, because there are pains in the butt. But yeah, Thunderblade, Zap, doesn't do a lot of damage. You even unequip this weapon, because that's the best accuracy you're gonna get. Being cursed is gonna lower that though, so they need to keep that in mind. But in terms of like, paralysis like lasts for like 3 turns, right? That's not very long. But if the monster is pick-upable, then that's actually very nice to have, right? Because now you can just play around a monster or pick it up. Oh yeah, that's 1 to 3 turn, I think 1 to 4 turn. It's really short. Yeah. And then zap, but that's fine. Only took a 6 health hit on the pet. That's very, very nice. But U-boats with float submerge and his summon magic, such a great ability to keep out too. It is, but every time you uses that kind of... Oh, did we lose? Poor... Oh my god, I wasn't even looking on that screen. What happened? And we actually have Alymra dead on floor 14. And we already have Wugga on floor 16. He's also the winner of the friendly third. But you gotta commend both these runners for actually deciding to go on a third run, even after the tournament. The path of shame, but again, and I'll say it anytime anyone wants to hear it, no shame in their play. Alymra played great. You need to remember, Alymra is actually on their first tournament ever. They just started speedrunning the game, and they are facing against the all-time, like, winner of everything is probably the word. Wugga is also the first on the leaderboard in the world, and Alymra has been competitive and fun to watch. And against that player, they won every other matches in the tournament. This is something. This is something serious. I can't wait to see how Alymra develops as a player in the future. But so far, they gave us today a very great play. I am going to now, this time for real, send them an invitation to this server so that they can come down and talk if they want to. Some kind of a little interview, but we have seen play. That was something. Let me let them know first. And send them. All right, let's invite both our runners to come and chat with me a bit. Yeah, that was crazy. Okay, Wugga says he'll join the interview in a minute. I mean, this has been a tournament and a half. I love... Oh, by the way, why I'm here, you guys in chat can let me know. This was a very different and new type of tournament. Passionate Rush has been the answer to our longer tournament being of really complicated and hard to organize. I know it's super nice to have those tournaments runs for like months, but this tournament was really short and sweet. 2-day weekend for the whole thing, except the finals in the next weekend. Is that something you would like to see again? Is that something that's nicer to follow? Or if it's your first time watching, was it just nice? Because we might want to do and repeat that specific format. Or if you didn't like it, do something different. But I feel like it's been like not necessarily an upgrade. It's just different. But I really enjoyed this. But Rush is supposed to be like the word clown Rush. It is. Roche is a French word which means rock. And if you pronounce it French, it is Roche. So it felt like Rush in English, right? And that was a wordplay, obviously, because I made the names for the tournament, so it's got to have a pun somewhere in there. One matches, it needs re-entry, I think. I absolutely agree, actually. But that's going to be something we're going to talk to as a community. But I think that this is right. I think that this is something that needs to be here. If only just for the show, but that makes sense to me. And we have Alymra coming in the 40 interview. GG, that was very well played.
GG's, thank you.
Yeah, to be honest, I really enjoyed watching you play. It was very exciting. It was very eye-octane. Talk to me how playing against a guy like Wugga affects your gameplay, if any.
There's definitely a level of needing to make sure that I need to move fast. Like, if I'm not moving fast, then I'm assuming that I have to be behind the curveball already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a definite... I felt like at the very beginning, I just had to go. I had to zoom. I had to move. That's why first match, I just motored as fast as I could.
Oh, yeah.
And it was... I feel like I did better than I thought I was doing. And that's the fun about a tournament, is you don't know how you're doing in relation to the other player.
Yes.
So I'll have to watch back the VOD to see if I was at least keeping pace. But
You
the
absolutely
second...
were.
That's good to hear. The second match, though, of all the times to miss a mirror.
And that's crazy because like a minute before I was like, he is on Griffin floors. Yeah, he's got a mirror shield, but that's 75%. There's just need to be one rise spell that doesn't bounce back, and that's it. And 5 seconds later, and I'm sorry for the commentary curse, but then, just a snipe rise, I'm like, will it bounce, will it bounce, will it bounce? No bounce, get down. And it was like, I think you were surviving on full health. I think you had 30 and they hit you for like 28. But you weren't full HP, obviously, because, I mean, you're not always full HP. And that was just the run there. That was a very, very great play. But at the end of the day, the tower sometimes says no, right?
The funny thing is that I was intending to be able to take the rise and then fire back with my own pillar ball and just keep going from there, because that would have given me probably 2 levels just outright. And I was like, no misstep. We just keep motoring after that. And then... I want to say I was at 23 HP and it hit me for 27. I was like, well, couldn't have seen that coming, could I?
Yeah, it's just Griffins. When they decide that they go on and passes the shield, that's just going to happen. But we are also joined by Wugga, our winner for the tournament, for the first Passionate Rush. Man, GG.
Thank you.
GG's, Wugga.
How do you feel after this win?
Like it's undeserved.
What do you mean?
So many fumbles, so many weird mistakes.
Oh,
so
yeah.
many just I don't know why I played like that moments.
It happens to the best of us. It even happens to me sometimes.
Even you. Oh, well,
yeah.
That's a load off my mind then.
Well, no. I was putting the best in a box and even me.
Right. It was a weird start. It took a while for me to get my bearings in the first seed.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one with the U-boat, it was just okay, let's just leave him on AI1 and have him die.
Yeah. Oh yeah. With the little the crack at the entrance of a room. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it like you said, it happens. Sometimes you simply just forget to set your AI properly. And I tried to save it. I tried to save it via AI1, AI2.
Right.
See how it works, but it didn't work out. So then I'm done to Napless, and I'm thinking, okay, let's wait for an egg so I can fuse. So I get a clown, and I'm trying to fuse it into the clown, and then it just gives me Napless, and for some reason I'm leveling up the Napless.
Yeah.
I want clown.
Yeah, don't rewatch my commentary on there. I was
Oh, I will. I will certainly will.
Yeah, I was a little rough.
Roast me on that.
Not roast, but I was definitely confused. And then Skeef in chat was confusing me more as well. So at some point I was like, why am I here? But yeah, it was kind of weird. Obviously, those kinds of rules are a little bit fuzzy in the first place, but we did discover them. But in those moments, I assume adrenaline takes over, and then sometimes will make you unable to focus and exactly remember or do exactly what you want. Like you have a vision, but then the steps between you and that vision are a little bit blurry, I assume.
Yeah, I would just say my brain was turned off for a moment. And at some point I realized, okay, I already messed up the fusion. Let's just go with Annapolis with the clown. I mean, it's unliftable, but I'm sure I can manage.
Right.
We have a comment about lose the U-boat though.
Oh yeah,
I thought, because as anyone who's ever done a race, you always think you've made the worst mistake in
right.
The match, and your opponent has not made that same mistake. So I was thinking, okay, Alymra certainly has the U-boat and is currently flying.
Oh yeah. Oh, they were. They were at some point they were like 6 floors ahead of you for sure. If I remember correctly, they reached floor 12 on 7th minute on that seed.
I died
Oh,
at like
wow.
8:30,
Oh, yeah.
and I was just like, there's no way that I was that far ahead when it's like I'm sitting here for 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and I'm just like, Senite still hasn't called it yet. Was I really that far ahead?
Yes.
And
The answer is
it
yes.
was kind of mind-boggling to me. I'm looking around, I'm just like,
Actually, in the
Well-
VOD, you'll hear I called the game then. I'm so used to when I see someone versus Wugga die that the match is over. But chat as told me, no. Wugga is still on floor 5. He's got ways to go. I'm like, right, this game isn't finished. And
Oh,
obviously,
wow.
at some point, Wugga did catch up, but that took him like a few minutes for sure because you were so much ahead. He lost his U-boats on floor 2, I think it was, or 3 maybe. And yeah, you were zooming using that U-boat every floor to make sure you get the elevator right away, which is definitely how you use that. Yeah, that was a crazy situation. To answer a question is chat that asked how did they menu so fast. This is something that I'm gonna advocate for the rest of my life. Every game needs this. The menus in Azure Dreams do not need to appear on screen for you to being able to put to input what you want from them. So at the fastest level, and you can muscle memory those for sure, at the fastest level, you can command your monster to do something without the menu ever showing up. You'll hear the clickety-clickety-click. But actually, no menu shows up on screen, and you know you've done the right thing because you've done it so fast. Every game needs this. Every game needs this for the hand of the world. I've seen people do menu section in speedrun with blindfold. We don't even need blindfold. There's no menu. But yeah, it's super fun to watch.
The animation for the menu showing up is slower than the inputs it accepts.
Yes.
Which means if you know exactly, let's say there's a item you want to use.
Yeah. And you know where slot it is, yeah.
Yeah, you'll never see the menu for it.
Absolutely. I was so impressed by both of you to actually go for a friendly third. And I'm commenting on this on the run, but I will ask the question here. In a tournament match, it's generally very draining, and I know you guys are probably like, okay, I need a break now. But going for a friendly third, that's generally something in finals especially you're not going to see because runners will be like, okay, I'm spent, I'm done, I've given all I had. You still went for it, and I absolutely commend the showmanship. How did you guys feel during a third matches that doesn't count?
It was kind of a situation of, well, I literally bungled a match at 8 minutes, so it can't get any worse than this. And I was just like, let's just see what happens. And I mean, my usual Saturday streams are 8.5 hours in the first place, so I'm in it for the long haul already. So
oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it was a trio of runs that was crazy. I got very excited. Now that's not gonna surprise anyone, but these 3 matches got me rolling. Yeah, they weren't the longest match I've seen. Yeah, we haven't seen a 40 clear. But to me, that's really irrelevant because the essence of Azure Dreams is the crazy situation, the bad trap, the pincer attacks, and we've got that in strides. And if any one of you thinks that I'm talking about them, go watch the match and watch the other. That happened on both sides of the screen so many times. But it was very fun to watch.
There were so many situations where I remember, especially with the kid, I remember thinking, kid's usually one of the strongest monsters to make basically easy mode. And suddenly I felt as if, wow, why is this so bad? Why is it going so badly? Why is everything coming my way? Why can't I hurt them?
Do you remember who made the seed?
Oh yeah, that explains that, I guess.
I did a couple of mismovements and it cost me my kid, and I'm just like, well, it's a good thing I've been practicing Commando for a bit.
Yeah.
So I mean, just get that extra practice in now.
That's the story of today. Wugga always had a pet by their side, trying to climb as fast as they could, and still keeping the level pretty much not grinded, but like keeping afloat. whereas Alymra in almost every seed becomes petless before level floor 10 and zooms and comes what may. But your first run was very impressive in terms of commando. You ran for like 12 floors without a pet or something like that. That's kind of crazy, and you were very fast. But obviously, Kid on Wugga's side was kind of a big deal, obviously. But yeah, you definitely both need to rewatch those matches because they were very interesting. Yeah, GG to both of you, to be honest. That was a very fun showcase of Azure Dreams.
GG's, and I'm looking forward to being able to participate in the next crazy insanity that you concoct.
That might happen. All right, thank you so very much to both runner Wugga, our champion for Passionate Rush, the first of its kind, but probably not the last. And thank you very much to SpeedGaming and obviously to Mikan, which has been taking care of the tech besides all of those beautiful things to see us being patched up by Mikan and making sure that we have sound and image today. The overlay has been made by Kat. She made that for us. It is absolutely beautiful. She designed all of the monsters and made an overlay out of it, which is very cool. She's also the one that made the graphic design for State Display. State Display has been made by Chai, another member of our community, which takes the information from the emulator to be put at the bottom side of your screen for your pleasures to see. And thank you so very much to you, chat. You, chat, are the reason why these events are so fun to play. We are signing off right now, but keep your eyes out or your ears open. We are probably coming up with another tournament in a few weeks or months. It has been a pleasure to be with you today. See you next time.
Yep. See you next time. Cheese Alymra, thank you very much for the match.
GG's, and thank you again, everyone.